And who they have voicing them, my God, some of the voice acting in this is absolute shit. I mean, I think it's embarrassing what they did. I'm not even saying like, hey, get the same voice actors who've been doing them for 20 years. At least get someone who sounds like Shaggy and not this guy. What in this movie? You get a guy, Will Forte. He sounds like us doing Shaggy. It's like some guy on the some schmuck on the street doing Shaggy's voice. That's who they got doing this. It's embarrassing.
God damn. Mark, what'd you say to him?
I don't remember. And I wish I did, so I don't ever say it again.
Whatever it is, apologize. Shit. God damn, I was sitting up here and I thought I was being rough.
I'm sick of people trying to do their universes now. It's like you don't get any caveats. You don't get any like, well, you know what, this was good. I'm tired of it.
Wanted to let you know about a little partnership we got going on with Row 8.
It was Row 8.
Row 8, yeah. Row 8, that is a streaming service. And a lot of people are streaming some of the latest things to drop, and they are dropping pretty hard these days. They're dropping all the new stuff out there, including Scoob. And Row 8 is the place that you can go to watch that, along with many other new things out there. They actually have a lot of the latest releases, stuff that is just gone to the theater and now they're out very quickly, or stuff that's was going to be in the theaters, but they've gone to VOD, such as Scoob right here. We can get you guys $2 off your first VOD over there if you use our code. You can use to watch Scoob or whatever else you want to watch. $2 off your first movie. Type in the code ~row8. Very simple. I don't know if it's case sensitive. You can try it either way, but it's very simple. ~row8. I'll spell it out for you. DOUBLE-ROW8. Y'all had all these universes out there. You had the DCEU. That shit fell apart. Dark Universe. That died before it even got here.
Yeah, it never got off the ground.
That was stillborn. It never had a chance to live this earth. Right here. People destroyed that right there. People see that. This is the first time I saw people who weren't even film nerds. They saw that logo and they're like, what the f is that? Dark Universe. It just sounds stupid. With those, I was worried about that Scooby-Doo universe. When we gonna get that? That's what I'm waiting on right there. You know, when am I gonna get to find out when Scooby met Shaggy? How did Shaggy meet the mystery gang? You know, I've been dreaming of the day that old Shaggy and Scoob get to hang out with Fred Flintstone, man. When is that gonna happen? Batman versus Superman, Scooby versus Flintstone. That's what I want to see. Well, it looks like that's happening now. Courtesy of Warner Brothers, since the other shit didn't work.
Got this other shit in here.
Hey, like, hey, we don't get Superman and Batman can't bring it, but Shaggy and Scooby will.
I mean, they've absorbed a lot of universes already.
They have.
So the Hanna-Barbera universe might as well be one they exploit.
Exactly, man. And like, shit, we got all these characters up here. They ain't really interacted yet. Let's go ahead and make that happen. The thing is, it was going to be on the big screen, but now they deliver this universe straight to your home. Did it really deserve to go to the big screen, or does this show that, yeah, home is where your ass should have been the whole time? We're going to answer that question, at least in our opinion, what we think about it, as we get into our review for Scoob. But we're going to watch this trailer first, which I'm sure you've seen already, but nothing's wrong with a refresher. Let's go ahead. Watch this trailer for Scoob.
This mangy stray's coming with me.
He's not a stray.
Okay, then. What's... name?
His name's Scooby.
Middle name?
Doobie?
Last name?
Doo.
It took a pandemic to let y'all know that this belonged on VOD. It took death on a global scale to let y'all know that this shit should have been at home the whole time. Really? Y'all were really asking yourself before the virus happened? I wonder if this belongs on the big screen. You know what? Maybe IMAX. There's so much Scooby-Doo, man.
See all that bullshit up there. Oh, it's glory. All those millennial references. Oh, my God. So funny.
Oh, shit. Y'all ain't seen Scooby until y'all seen them on the IMAX big screen.
I mean, it's easier to see how they might have looked around and saw Well, it's not like it's competition.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. And hey, look, you know, at the time it wasn't a big question. You know, theaters were king, big screens were the king. So I see it, but I'm sure it's almost like Corona just slapped sense into them. What the f are you thinking? Really? You want to put this up there? Really? Okay.
And it's probably a lot of people who are like, "Oh no, we can't put it in the theaters now."
Yeah. Yeah, listen, let me explain why. It's not like I'm sitting up here trying to be all snobbish against this movie. I'm not. It's not like I'm rooting against it. This was actually, I'll be honest with you, I grew up on Hanna-Barbera, man. Love Hanna-Barbera. So I put this on my list of movies that I wanted to see most in 2020.
Right. Yeah, that's right. You did.
Because they were going, you know, I thought, listen, this sounds kind of stupid now when I say it, but you know, back then I was like, oh my God, a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe? Oh shit, that'd be kind of cool. And if they had done it a certain way, yeah, it probably could have been.
They did it the right way.
If they had done it, I'm trying to be nice. If they had done it good, yeah, I just want to do the bare minimum. And I'll tell you why. Listen, I got legitimate reasons why I think that this does not belong up on the big screen. I have a feeling if I had seen the movie on the big screen, I would have come out saying, why did they put it up here?
Sure.
Other than money. The
Well,
reason,
it's a TV property.
yeah. Which I understand, TV properties they go to the screen all the time and make money. I have no problem with Scoob going to the big screen. I was looking forward to it. But may I explain why? Two main reasons why this looks like it did not belong on the big screen. One is the production, the animation. The animation in this.
It's choppy.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like
man.
it was rendered all that well.
Look, it's not.
It's simple. It's very simplified.
Yeah, because I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not even complaining about it being bad. Like if I watch this on video, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's pretty cool for streaming animation or TV animation. But you know that it's the animation where everything looks a little too smooth. I'm not talking about the movement. I ain't talking about smooth movements. I'm talking about the textures, the surfaces. Everything looks a little too smooth that it looks almost like rubber or plastic.
Yeah, they look kind of like dolls moving around.
Yeah, even when things have texture, it still looks like it's too smooth, and it's that smoothness that it's it's that smooth CG animation where it feels like, wow, you didn't have enough money for convincing textures, or everything is so smooth because you didn't have enough rendering time.
Yeah,
something. Everything looks plasticky almost, or rubbery in a way, not in a way that looks good. And the movements, man. Yeah. When you say it doesn't look fully rendered, it's because what it is, and look, this probably y'all know what y'all gonna say. Now you just being a animation bitch. Okay, stop. You just being an animation bitch. I get it. But if you look at this, just hear me out, people, because once I say it, you're gonna see it. The animation movement itself, it looks very stroby because there's no blurs on any of these characters. Like look at when my man Blue Falcon comes down right here. Look at that. There's no blurs on the movement that makes it look natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I absolutely do. That's the thing that really bothered me, kind of threw me off. I eventually acclimated to it, but it took a little while for me.
Yeah. And you could argue that it's inspired by the 2D look of Hanna-Barbera. This is like, I mean, compared to what they did back when they were getting real cheap at animation, shit, we might as well be in the year 3000 with this.
Yeah, where everything was just recycled.
Yeah, exactly.
No backgrounds. Yeah.
Backgrounds and everything. Characters hardly ever moved. You could even see, and they would hardly ever move, and shit would just be up and everything. But like they'd be wiggling and shit when they shouldn't be. I mean, it was messed up, man. But so you could argue that they just kind of doing like maybe sort of a take on some of the cheap animations they did back in the day, but it looks better now for CG. But I would even argue that if they're taking this from like the 2D past of Hanna-Barbera, there are people who are doing things with 3D CG animation today, and they're giving it sort of a 2D look or a stop motion look.
Right.
They're being very creative with it. Into the Spider-Verse. It's all CG, but they make it look like it's 2D, or everything has sort of a flat painted surface or an acrylic surface. There's a lot of people starting to do that right now. They got that movie Connected that's coming out pretty soon, where they play with CG animation looking like, sort of a 2D style or more a more painterly style. We saw that done with things like
Klaus. Yeah, and the Peanuts movie.
Exactly. So this is, man, I'm telling you.
I don't think they were going for a 2D look. I think it was more of a, we got this property. You're not gonna have a whole lot of time, so keep it simple.
Yeah.
You Corey Coleman yourself have always said it ain't about the animation all the time. It's about the story. You know, you always said if the story is good, it can always hold up shitty animation, just plain animation. And you are correct. I have said that. So too bad the story's shit. You know, I mean, it's not like the story's bad, man. But the story here, they have made a story that is so written for kids.
They made every mistake they could have made with a movie like this of starting a universe and not understanding the property that they have, not actually having the characters. What the movie is supposed to be about, interact with each other. Matter of fact, separating them. Every mistake they could have made, they did it. How is that possible when you have so many examples out there right now? And to say, like, don't do this, and they're like, we're going to do that. No, don't do that.
Like what?
Oh, the fact that it's a movie about Scooby-Doo and you barely have the mystery gang together. They're in the beginning, and for the most of the film, they're completely separated. And you have them, you have Scoob and Shaggy. Really, it's their film. And would they have voice in them? My God, some of the voice acting in this is absolute shit. I mean, I think it's embarrassing what they did. I'm not even saying, like, hey, get the same voice actors who've been doing them for 20 years. At least get someone who sounds like Shaggy and not this guy. What in this movie, you get a guy, Will Forte, he sounds like us doing Shaggy. It's like some guy on the, some schmuck on the street doing Shaggy's voice. That's who they got doing this. It's embarrassing.
God damn. Mark, what'd you say to him?
I don't remember. And I wish I did, so I don't ever say it again.
Whatever it is, apologize. Shit. God damn, I was sitting up here and I thought I was being rough.
I'm sick of people trying to do their universes now. It's like you don't get any caveats. You don't get any, like, well, you know what, this was good. I'm tired of it.
Shit, even Shaggy and Scooby, like, what did we do? Yeah, right. What did we say?
You existed. That's what.
Like, what did you say to that dude, man?
I'm like, man, Zoinks, holy shit!
Like, you really pissed that guy off, man. God damn. Martin, I know what it was. Why'd you do that? Why'd you say? Because he said they made every mistake that they could have something like this, and you had to go and say, like what? Let me tell you.
Niagara Falls.
I thought he was going to choke your ass. Don't you ever say that shit to me.
I explained it.
I'm scared to move on, man. Just in case you disagree.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I don't know, man. Will I be okay?
You'll do okay.
Okay. You are red.
No, I'm fine.
You are red.
Am I lying? He's red.
No, you are.
Got the steam coming out of my ears right now.
Had that finger going.
Oh, boy.
And another thing. And furthermore, and I take umbrage. How could you?
And in conclusion, oh no.
One of the things that I thought that they could have done well, because they were aiming to do something, and they messed up because while they had this big plan, they narrowed it down to this one thing, and that is they made this so much of a kids movie, and that's not the wrong. Because people like saying, "Man, this is a kids movie. What's your problem?" Well, there's a difference between kids movies and family films.
Sure. Say it all the time.
And this was aiming, and I can give you certain examples how. This was aiming to be a family film. Because, when you think of family films, you think of movies where it's something that parents who are taking their kids, it justifies paying over $50 possibly to go to the theater, because the parents will find a little something to enjoy in the movie, as well as the kids. You know, there's little for parents to enjoy here. If you ask me, Martin's like, I'm a parent. Martin's like, I enjoy it. I'm a parent with 2 grown ass kids. Now, I will say this. Listen, unless you are a Hanna-Barbera fan, and which I know you are.
I am.
You were raised on this shit just like I was. And your nostalgia is so hard that you just lose your shit at the sight of any kind of bit of nostalgia or Hanna-Barbera character that comes along. I understand people. Here's my problem with it. It's for people like us too, that because they're actually pitching this like, are you a Hanna-Barbera fan? Mm-hmm. Then Scoob is going to be a walk down memory lane for you, a happy walk down memory lane. But the way that they work that in there is so bad because all of this is really geared towards kids. Man, this is a long ass, and I get it. Yes, Scooby-Doo was a Saturday morning cartoon, but they did nothing to get past what they were doing back in the day with that. I don't even think they're being that clever with it. You might enjoy it as a Hanna-Barbera fan, but even let's just say you are a hardcore Hanna-Barbera fan. You know, you'd pay $50 to watch this because you love Hanna-Barbera that much. You've got to admit that they changed some of these characters for the worse.
Oh, did they ever? We got to modernize them. Got to modernize everybody. Why? This story doesn't need to be modernized. That's one of the big mistakes that this makes.
Nobody questioned this back in the day because they were 30 minutes long and it was so weird because they didn't explain it. It was just like, all right, sure. But your boy Captain Caveman. Mm-hmm. I used to love Captain Caveman. I used to go to the house. My mom used to say, boy, if you don't sit your ass down, quit knocking shit over. I used to love Captain Caveman back in the day. 3 teenage girls found him iced up in the cave somewhere, and they, of course, like with everything, teenagers found a talking shark, a octopus, a talking dog. And what did they do? They go on adventures.
They start solving mysteries.
Start solving mysteries, man.
Me stop 'em, Captain Caveman.
You know, he had a speech impediment. Onga bunga, onga me stop them, onga. Now I want y'all to listen to what we have here today. I'm just gonna play you a little sample.
Hello? Your tiny little brains probably can't understand me.
That I'm just Tracy Morgan as a caveman.
That's exactly what it is.
It's just that the mother might as well just come out and say, hey, everybody, I'm Tracy Morgan. I mean, that's what he should have said. I'm Tracy Morgan as a cartoon caveman. How you doing? He even goes in and says, when somebody says something to him about where they came from, he's like, yo, that's dope.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, geez, where's the unga?
Where's the bunga?
Where's the bunga?
Where's the bunga? Nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. Just, oh, hey, y'all, what's up? I'm Tracy Morgan. I'm not even attempting to try to do Captain Caveman. It's just me. If you're gonna try to do this whole thing of you're gonna make a kids movie, but try to put some nostalgia in there for the people who love Hanna-Barbera, then make the characters like they were back in the day. This is not the character at all. Dynamite. I remember Dynamite back in the day. The Blue Falcon's loyal, trusted, dumbass dog. And we like him dumb.
Good. He's fearless, scareless, a little too careless. Dynamite.
So here's your Dynamite today.
I think you mean this ain't your daddy's Blue Falcon. Allow me to introduce you.
Who is this watered down asshole right here? I mean, y'all just changed this shit without telling anybody. It's like, that's another, why? Why change them? That's Ken Jeong doing the voice. Did he? What was the need there? Unless y'all just felt like, well, you know, this mentally challenged motherfucker is not very PC today. We can't do that. Hey, everybody. What's my name again? Oh, yeah, Dynamite. Oh, I mean, I guess, but you didn't even try to even be anything kind of reasonably close to that.
They thought they were being clever. Hey guys, let's reverse the roles. So Dynamite's the competent one, and Blue Falcon, he's the moron. Yeah, people are gonna love that.
That kind of thing happens all the time.
Yeah. The thing is, I actually first I thought I was like, you know what, I kind of like this, but it kept being repeated, all of his jokes over and over and over again. And, you know, when you repeat a joke over and over again, that just makes it even more funny. And so that's why I was like, okay, this is his shtick, is to be that kind of that dry sense of humor and repeat the same things over again. No, it's just boring at that point. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
David Letterman made a career out of it.
That's true. That's why I didn't watch David Letterman.
Yeah, but he wasn't a robot goddamn dog either.
Not sure about that.
Yeah, I didn't see him transform, but, you know.
He's retired now, so we'll never know.
Yeah, but until that day. See, I can tell he ready. He's like, hey, look, y'all assholes.
I know what's happening. I know what's happening.
I know, man. Look, y'all.
We started questioning, yeah.
And I can tell what he's gonna say. He's gonna be like, look, that's because y'all to get what y'all wanted. It's not that.
No,
I don't
it's
give a
nothing
fuck
to do
about this movie at all.
I wasn't going to say that.
Okay, good. I'm just ready to fight. Look at
I haven't had a chance to say anything.
I'm just getting ready.
We're just going to
I'm
the
just so
throats.
hyped up. It just makes me go like, well, wait a minute now.
Martin don't want to put his hand in because he's going to lose it. Can I say something? Shit! Captain Caveman, look, if you change him around, I'm not opposed to change at all. If you want to change him around, that's fine. But they don't do anything with him in the story, man. They just put him in there.
It's a cameo.
As a cameo because, well, we're just trying to, like, put this universe together somehow, and we can't actually do a good story with it, so we're just throwing them in scenes that don't even have anything to do with the movie. Or make them just, they don't lend anything to the story. Dick Dastardly, man. Just thrown in. He just comes out of nowhere. I mean, yes, we know he's the legendary villain of the Hanna-Barbera universe. He's the biggest asshole there. He's their Thanos. But
I wouldn't go that far. Thanos is competent.
I said he's their Thanos. Nobody's competent in the Hanna-Barbera universe. But he's just thrown in, man. There's no big introduction. It's just to say, hey, y'all remember him. Just let him, here he is. No real clever way to work him into the story. He's just a villain. This is because they're just trying to throw together, in my opinion. The reason why these characters seem like they don't have too much of a purpose here is because they're trying to throw together, just like they did with all these other universes out here, a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. There's even characters in here that they don't need. Listen, y'all gonna probably take this wrong because I don't mean it like this, but that black girl they had in here lent nothing to this. That's a diversity hire right there. But WB, Warner Brothers, they are aware of the nostalgia that people will probably see this movie for. For those kids that grew up in the 70s and 80s who grew up in Hanna-Barbera, they do try to make an attempt at adult humor here, but the things that like these so-called quote unquote adult humor here, it's more childish than the stuff for children, and the jokes for kids. They got for one thing, they don't know how to do it. They just take things, they run some jokes into the ground.
Yep.
And the funny thing is like while it's supposed to be something for the adults, it's the kids that are laughing. Because the joke is so stupid and just so badly executed that they just over here laughing because they just said a certain word.
Join me, Scooby-Doo. Rick? No, I'm not a Rick. I'm a Dick with a D.
Rick with a D.
Dick.
Rick.
Daddy, they said Dick. Daddy, he said Dick. Daddy, yeah, I heard. Shit. Yeah, Daddy got a dick and ain't that funny. It's like, man, that's an adult joke, but told in a way that a kid would respond.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I read that this movie only appeals to small children and Hanna-Barbera old school fans. And I was like, well, I guess that's me. Now, I'm not Carlos, where I was going nuts over the Easter eggs. I noticed them.
As far as we know.
That's true. You weren't there to see it. Surprised by all the hate you guys have for it, but I guess that's your job to oversell it and pretend like you hate stuff that you don't. But,
coming from the guy that does all that shit all the time for the last 3 weeks of, this is not for me, rental. I didn't get it, rental. I'm really not a fan, rental.
No, I'm joking.
I know you are.
I'm joking around. But yeah, man, I was had it on watching it, and I was like, wow, I'm laughing and having a fun time watching this. But yeah, there's so much about it where I was like, all right. They make fun of the fact that this whole thing is based on a middle-aged guy's idea of teenagers, and it's like, all right, this is just translated from hippie to hipsters, and they've updated some things, and some things they've kept very much the same. But even the gags, it's such a movie that plays homage to those old gags, and if it doesn't do it for you, or you're like, oh, that's old, that's cliche. Hey, man, I get it. I had fun.
I don't think you needed an origin story of Scooby and Shaggy.
No, that was completely unneeded. This is why I was hating it so much in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I was even, talking about, did I watch it with my daughters? I was going to watch it with them, and I saw this part, and I was like, man, guys, don't even worry about this. This is some bullshit.
Yeah, that's totally unnecessary. If they were going to do that, they should have made a movie about a pup named Scooby-Doo. They should have made a kid's version. They should have made something where the movie was an origin film of them, and then they go off and do this kind of stuff. We didn't need to see that. We didn't need to see, you know, how they met the mystery gang when they were kids. You know, I don't. All that stuff is
Their first case.
The first case, yeah. All that would have been fun on its own, but just as something that just kind of whizzed by in the movie.
Honestly, no, I'm sorry, not to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No, please.
But there is one thing I thought, you know what? This is a modern take that I really like, where these are all kids coming out of high school, and they're realizing we've made so much money doing this. Forget college. People are hiring us. Let's just start our own business. I thought that was really inspired and so realistic, especially for these times. I'm like, let's see that story. And they're like, no, we got this. And we're going to bring all these people and give us advice for this and get this going. And of course, it's ignored.
Yeah, that would have been a great idea.
That'd be so cool, but yeah, we didn't get it.
Hey, that's too smart for this movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
For a live action movie, I'd like to see that.
I wouldn't have seen that for
any adaptation. I think it would be kind of cool.
Live action, animation, anything. It's just a clever idea.
Yeah.
I think, you know, like I said, man, if they had concentrated on the mystery gang, I think it would have been a tighter film. Even though the thing is, I did like the mystery gang, man. I enjoyed them. Now here's where we fought.
Yeah,
because I liked them, man. I wish I had seen more of them. They did a few changes with them. Some that are really cool, and some like what? Huh? She's what?
Guys, this thing is increíble.
Wait, increíble. Wait a minute. Is
Velma'S
Latina?
Velma'S race ethnicity is going back and forth all the time. She's Asian sometimes. Sometimes she's white. Didn't they do a Scooby-Doo cartoon the last few years where they say, no, she's Asian? Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So for you just never
I
know.
think it was a live action thing, a TV thing where they did that. But yeah, she's very much. Because after that I was like, all right, the actress Gina Rodriguez who's playing her is Latino.
Yeah,
and then she says that, and I started looking at her. I was like, your skin's a little bit darker than everybody else's.
Yeah. That's when I realized.
They don't change her name from Dinkley, but
yeah. That's what when it started. I was like, okay, I thought she was just tanned at first, but then she said increíble, and then I thought, oh shit. Fred should have turned around and be like, you've been a Mexican the whole time?
That would have been great.
That would have been, puts on a MAGA hat. Get out! They should, now that would have been fun in the movie without the racism. Without the racism.
Without the racism, other than that.
But other than being like, you're Latina? You've been this way the whole time? Cool. You know, I thought that would have been funny, but I was like, y'all just gonna change this without saying anything? You had a moment to be clever with that. You had a moment to actually address it. I mean, again, you just slide
this. The idea is to put it in there and not make a big deal out of it.
I thought it would have been funny for a movie that, you know, wants to, like, again, kind of be self-reflexive with its humor. I thought that would have been funny for them to do that, to say something like that. Or, you know, anything to talk about the changes that happens with these characters. I get it, you know. You want to put some people in there to show diversity and whatnot, but I don't think they're putting diversity in a good way. It's just like, we're just putting it in here because, again, diversity hires. I surprisingly really liked. Oh, here we're going to make this dude mad over here. I liked Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I did too.
As the Blue Falcon.
It's funny because I didn't recognize his voice until he got to the part where he said, jalapeno peppers?
There's no R's in there whatsoever.
The whole time I was just like, man, who is this? And I was like, hold up a second. IMDb, I was like, son of a bitch.
He has the opposite problem of Scooby. Can't say those R's, man. Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't know.
I liked him, man.
Because, again, it's the same gag. He's a social media expert, and they constantly emphasize that. He's making references to Tinder, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's the same thing.
You can't say, oh, it's too much of the old thing, and then when they update it, go like, oh, great, now they're using all the new references.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm not mad if they're doing the old thing again for this. It's just that it's the same gag every single time, because that's all he's defined by, is the fact that he's all about social media. And that's it. And they repeat that throughout the entire
I don't
movie.
give away anything in the plot, but I feel like he's defined by a lot of different things.
Yeah,
and being a coward.
Yeah, but that's funny to me. You know why? Because they changed the character and they explained it.
Yeah.
You know,
they explained it, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, we're just going to make this character different. No, there's an explanation behind it.
See, they changed some stuff. They made him dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, let's solve some mysteries, bro. You know? Yo, I'm a blue crime fighter. You know, I mean, I don't mind if change the characters, but make something fun out of it. He had a backstory. If they did something with that character.
Yeah.
Less scaly.
They're feathers.
All right, and it's called an upgrade. This ain't your daddy's Blue Falcon.
I think you mean this ain't your daddy's Blue Falcon.
If you can't tell, his That's not the Blue Falcon.
It's not the original.
He's his father's dumbass son,
Brian.
Brian, yeah, but I liked it, man. I thought Mark Wahlberg did a really good job with the voice work in this. I know.
No, I didn't even. I didn't have.
Boy, he gave me. You see that side? He was sitting up here. I felt
Ice. You're not gonna need that fan anymore. Staring at you.
I mean, he was sitting and moved. I was like, shit, should I take it back?
I didn't even have a problem with his voice acting. It's what they do with the character that bothered me. I have some issues with some voice acting in this film, but I think
I want to hear those
fine.
voice acting. Let me pass it off to you.
No, that's fine.
No, I'm gonna pass it off to you because I'm just gonna say real quick because we disagree on the voice acting. Really like Fred, man. I know some people are like, yeah, because you want to fuck Zac Efron. Zac and Boo up in there. But I really did like Fred in this, man. They just had some funny lines with Fred, too. Because I'm looking at him, man, and the whole time I was thinking, like, yeah, he's just a dumb blind guy, man. And even Dick Dashley said he called his ass the poor man's Hemsworth, and it hurt his feelings, man.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
Chris
which
or Liam?
Hemsworth?
Yeah.
And they even took a jab at Liam. Tell me I'm not Liam. Like, God, leave Liam alone.
Yeah. He's gone through a lot.
Yeah. What do you feel about the voice work in this?
I mean, in regards to the mystery, and the thing is, it's like you don't spend.
Started again. I see what you're up to. He was very clear on his feelings on the voice work.
Get his ass all wound up.
I mean, we've covered some of the characters already, particularly with Tracy Morgan as Captain Caveman, and the people who voice Velma, Daphne, and Fred. I mean, they're just not in it enough. They don't really get a lot to do, in my opinion. They get a few gags, like, oh, that's kind of fun, but they're just not in it. But the one person that, who we follow mostly, and we got, again, Frick Welker returning for Scooby-Doo. He does fine. Even the stuff he's given, it's like, okay, it's very kind of a mixed bag overall. But Will Forte is Shaggy. Again, he sounds like all of our impressions of Shaggy. Some guy in the street doing the impression of Shaggy. I just never bought him as the character.
Wow, he sounded like Shaggy to me.
Nah, he really did.
As a matter of fact, when this was done, I fired up the Scooby-Doo movie I was talking about, where they have all the superheroes cross over with them, and it's Matthew Lillard doing the voice.
Yeah.
And just like right after listening to this, I was like, yeah, they're not that different.
Yeah. Well, you picky about your Shaggies.
No
yeah,
kidding.
well, I mean, I'm not even saying you have to get, because I know there's just a whole petition out there. It's like, or people have been upset, like, why didn't you cast Matthew Lillard or someone? I'm like, hey, if you just get a guy that sounds like Shaggy, I'm fine. To me, he just didn't do a good job. And I don't think they gave him a lot of good dialogue. Never made me laugh.
Well, I tell you, man,
thing.
the chat is split on this. Some people like the movie, and some people are, they're saying it too, man. It was like, yeah, I didn't like anything about this. I didn't like Shaggy's voice. I agree, his movie was lame. Some people like, the movie's all right. So, who thought Scoob would be the movie that would split moviegoers out there, man?
That's funny, because that's what I'd read, where somebody said this movie's going to split viewers down the middle, and I was like, oh, come on. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it does.
It did. They were right.
Well, they weren't lying.
Well, I mean, this country's divided over everything else. It might as well be over Scooby-Doo.
Tribalism, yes.
Yeah, man. Scooby's destroying theaters and families, man. God damn, I hope this isn't going to be happening around Thanksgiving. People screwing each other.
No, Shaggy was terrible. What are you talking about?
Shut up!
Watch Scooby-Doo Returns to Monster Island, the 1998 classic. That's Shaggy, goddammit.
Animation's not that great, but most of the jokes work for me, and it was fun to see those characters, and I discovered I liked them better than I thought. I wasn't as tired of them. I actually, with the exception of Tracy Morgan, I liked all the voice acting. So that's why I'm really like, oh, okay, I don't know what to say to you. But it is, it falls in that category of, hey, man, I get it.
Yeah.
It's not your thing, And Corey, you certainly found things about it that didn't work for you. I just sat there watching it and going like, wow. And a lot of my enjoyment is based on it not being terrible like I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I totally grant you that. But it was that fun walk down memory lane that nailed the things that I liked and changed the things I didn't like. So for me, it was a matinee.
Matinee, all right.
To be positive, I will say that some of the voice acting I really did like. Jason Isaacs as Dick Dastardly did a very good job.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Nobody could be Paul Winchell.
No, and even the joke he had where he called me Dick, it's like, yeah, that was good. But he had so many other parts where I was like, you know what, this is actually, they do a really good job, and I like his story. I liked what he was trying to achieve. I was like, okay, that's kind of sweet what you're doing with him. But outside of that, yeah, this just was not for me. And we covered all the basics in terms of the animation and a lot of the voice acting. But when it comes down to the end of the day, it's just that it's repeating the same mistakes we see so often with these reinterpretations, these adaptations of these properties, where we have to make everything modern and let's have all the humor. It's not even I'm gonna call it humor. It's just references to things that we have in our ordinary life, and people will find those references funny, but we're not being clever about it whatsoever. And we've seen this for years, decades, and I'm tired of it. I'm just sick of it at this point. And I'm not gonna cut anyone a break of this now. So every time I see this and it's repeated constantly, like, no, I'm not gonna apologize. I was thinking rental, but nope. This is some old bullshit.
Oh shit!
This is some old bullshit. I'm tired of it.
There's Chris in the background. I hate you, Scoob,
and you meddling kids.
Obviously, I am disappointed from the things you've heard me say. But ultimately, this is a movie that just misses its potential because it's doing the basics of what executives think kids like out there. At the end of the movie, like for example, there's just an arbitrary hip hop soundtrack in here. Oh, yeah. Just it doesn't play in any scenes, anything. It just plays in the background because kids like the hip hop today. At the end of the film, this is not a spoiler or anything, but I can just let you know, Blue Falcon comes down, he's DJing. And it's just like, why? Because the kids love the DJs.
Love it. They gotta have a dance scene at the end.
They gotta have a dance sequence at the end. And it's just like, man, this is what's wrong with family movies, so-called family movies. They think that they're doing something clever for the family, but really they're just dumbing it down because they're doing the basics of what they feel like kids enjoy. Saw it, didn't hate it, but as someone raised on Hanna-Barbera who wanted to like it more, this is story-wise and production-wise, it's said from the very beginning. We're just releasing this at the theaters because we get by on the name and the brand, the IP of Scooby-Doo. Other than that, it's right where it belongs right now. It's a straight to video release. So yeah, it's a rental. It's a rental. Didn't hate it. Got to laugh at some things when they did it right, which was in very small doses. They did it well, but for the most part, very, very, very missed mark right here. So yeah, it's a rental. It's a rental, man. But hey, will the kids enjoy it? Is what it comes down to. It's written for them. Yes, they will, and they're enjoying it at home as much as they would have at the theater. And you save some money. Who would have known? As if we need something else to split this country apart. We just want to fight. We just want to
get all that anger.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
We're in the house too long.
Yeah. Fighting over a goddamn cartoon talking dog, man. Oh, will we ever come together on anything? We'll see.
We're counting on you, Scooby-Doo, to save us from all this.
Scooby-Doo's he's a sign of he's a sign of the apocalypse. We were actually making progress.
Yeah, no, he brought
his ass had to come up.